This is a pretty cool pot, and I think that we should burnish it. Welcome to the How to Burnish video. My name is Marlena the Pottery Lady. I'm a full-time potter, and I absolutely love pottery. It makes my life so much better, and I want to help it make your life better. This is the type of technique that you would see on old types of pottery when they didn't have access to super high temperature kilns, right? So they would do like pit fires and wood fires and stuff like that that wouldn't get that high. That was used to make a surface of clay shiny, kind of watertight, not as porous as normal, by compressing those clay particles so that they're closer together, and that's why it's a smoother, shinier surface. It gives pottery kind of a natural type of sheen without having to use any kind of clear glaze, which is really cool. So the most important thing that you need to know when burnishing is the dryness of the clay. Really matters. It's probably the most important thing when you're about to burnish. I made this vase on a video of throwing the most I've ever thrown. It's on my Instagram if you'd like to follow it. It's Marlena the Pottery Lady. And I was just thinking, like, what a beautiful, big, smooth surface. It would look so good burnished. And so this is the perfect opportunity to explain how burnishing happens. I let this dry for a few weeks, and burnishing happens after the leather hard stage, but before the bone dry phase. So bone dry means if it's starting to turn white, like if you scratch it and then it starts to turn white and turn chalky a little bit, that is into the bone dry territory. Leather hard, there's a range, you know, there's soft leather hard and there's hard leather hard. If you press your finger into the clay like I'm doing to this one, and it's not leaving any kind of a finger mark or indent, that is a great hard leather hard stage. So this actually got a little bit too dry, and I spritzed it with water, covered it with a bag for a few days, and now I come back to it and it's not leaving any kind of chalky white when I scratch it, and that is perfect. So I'm super grateful that this is ready to go. Check your pots and make sure it's at the right stage. Burnishing can happen with a few different tools. One of the most common ones is a spoon. I'm gonna use a spoon because I have a spoon, but another one that's traditional and probably the most commonly used was a polished rock. And you can also use a plastic bag. You can also use a light bulb, basically anything that has that smooth surface. Some people even use their finger. You can even do multiple coats, like with one with a spoon, one with a bag, you know, just test it out, see what works. So I'm gonna take the spoon, and this curved round part of the spoon, I'm going to rub in circles, and you can even see the burnishing start to happen. You're gonna see it become smooth and shiny in the area that I rubbed, and this is those clay particles getting smushed closer together, and this is how burnishing happens. The most surprising thing, I think, to people when they learn about burnishing is just how long it takes. I mean, this is a process that people would sit down for days and rub pots. And the thing is that even when you rub it once, it's not going to be fully done. So you will need to burnish it multiple times, and sometimes even on the second or third, if you really want to seal it, we're going to use any kind of an oil. This one, you see my phone fell on it. That is that indent right there. That would mean that it's just too soft. It's actually getting pretty good, but if I do this, you can definitely see my fingerprint, and this is just a little bit too wet. It's okay because it's good to show you, but let's say I take this burnishing and I'm doing this. It's making the surface smooth, but it's not making it shiny, and that's just because there's too much moisture. And oftentimes what this can do is it can even rub and smush the clay around, which we don't really want. This is going to take forever. But it's about the process. It's about observing what's happening to the clay as you push it down. You know, it's not always just about the end product. Pay attention to where your mind floats and how your hand feels and what kind of pressure helps, and just be present and look at the clay. Appreciate the fact that you even made a piece from nothing, from a ball of clay that you are now finishing with an ancient, a really old technique that still is around today. I mean, how cool is that? And I feel like it's so calming on the body too, because creating things with your hands, especially in an old type of a technique, I think is really grounding and is good for our brains. When I was also burnishing other things, I found that using different tools in different crevices and areas is really important. And I had a polished rock and I don't know where it is. So let me know if you find it. I kind of like that this right here is indented, because then you get to see the difference of the cut clay and the burnished clay. I think maybe I'll make that a little bit more dramatic. Wow, look at how shiny that rim is. Can you see how shiny that rim is? Whoa, pretty cool. My arm is getting really tired. We're getting there, woo! Now, obviously, you don't have to burnish the bottom, but I'm gonna. Okay, this has its first burnished beautiful layer. And notice that we did say first. If your pot isn't getting shiny enough, or it doesn't seem to be getting very shiny, some troubleshooting is it's either too wet, or it's way too dry, or you're not pressing hard enough. The amount of pressure I was putting this spoon on there was a lot. Like, you gotta feel it in your wrist and in your shoulder. And that pressure is gonna help give the shine. If it's still not getting shiny and you feel like you're doing all of those things, you could put some Terra Sigillata over this and let that dry and then burnish it. Terra Sigillata is a very thin, smooth, fine particle slip. So really watery, fine particle slip that's very smooth, right? So if you put it on a surface like a groggy, rough clay, it would kind of act as a nice, smooth surface so that you can then take your spoon or your surface or your rock and push those clay particles together to get that burnishing shine. This was a technique mainly to replace a glaze. So we can't skip over the amount of time it takes and the pressure it takes to make this watertight, right? It is so gorgeous though, isn't it already, just with the first coat? So, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to finish it. I'm so excited to see yours. If you do end up burnishing something, you should 100% tag me on Instagram and I would love to see it. Look at how shiny. It's the next day and it's looking great. I was thinking about it all last night and hoping that it wasn't gonna get too dry. However, oh yeah, I didn't mention that I did burnish it another time for a little bit off camera, and that's why this time we're actually adding the oil. So the second burnish wasn't as intense as the first one, so technically this is the third, but I would count it as like 2.5 or 1.5. You get what I'm saying. even if it does get too dry, you have your fail-safe and kind of extra fancy shiny step, which is adding some kind of oil. The tip to adding the oil is to wait a second. So you can't just put on the oil and then right away start rubbing. The oil is going to take a second to seep through and penetrate the clay a little bit. One, because it's already burnished once or twice before this, and also because, you know, oil's a little thicker than water. The top is like, it was wider before, and as I was burnishing it, I pressed too hard on the top and it snapped off. But that's okay, because then I kind of like, you know, wanted to show the difference between the burnished area and then the carved area, and I actually like it how it is. This is what it looks like when you first add the oil. It's really, really, really shiny and it's not seeping in at all. And then over here, we have added the oil. Over there, the oil is added, you can see, because it's darker and it's more saturated. I haven't added the oil to the bottom yet. And it just takes a minute to seep in. And then from there, we can start to burnish. It's definitely gonna take a minute. It's nighttime right now. I've already done the bulk of my other work for the day, so I thought what a nice relaxing thing to do was to burnish these and maybe watch a little show or something. Just like you can use any smooth surface, you can use any type of oil. And I'm just using grapeseed oil because it's not the oil that we like to use for cooking as much, you know? If you get a little nick, maybe from the spoon or from your nail or something, you can definitely burnish over that and smooth that together again. I am getting a little concerned for how dry this is actually. I think it's gotten just a bit too dry. So timing is so imperative with this. Shiny. My arm is getting tired. That is one shiny pot. It's like a drum. I am going to let this dry for like 2 weeks, honestly. If it's even a little bit cold to the touch, you know, signing that there's some moisture in there, I'm not gonna fire it. But I'm hoping to be able to raku fire this. I don't want to put glaze on it. I just want the bare burnish to be visible. This one I do fear got a little bit too dry. It started to chalk up and get a little bit white as I was working on it, and that is just a sign of it being much too dry. I'm a little bit disappointed, but you know, you learn more from mistakes than you do from wins, so take this, not to wait too long. It's just, timing is so important when it comes to this. I am very much excited about this one. I'm super glad that this didn't get too dry. I'm really excited to, I just jabbed my fingernail into it. Anyways, I hope that this was informational for you. I hope that it was helpful to you on your burnishing journey. I hope it was entertaining to you, that you got to hang out with me and hear me talk about some weird stuff. Maybe some helpful things, funny things. I don't know. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please like it and subscribe and comment because it helps me out so much. I'm definitely trying to grow. I actually recently became a YouTube partner. All right, see you next time, my friends. Remember that art is so important, and so are you.